And thank you for all the kind words about this watch. We enjoy hanging out with you, and really thank you for watching, and thank you for sending in your awesome questions. And keep the questions coming, because we have not much time left in our watch on here, but plenty of time left in the dive. We've got another peak to explore. This dive has been really awesome. There's been a lot of life, a lot of interesting features, some really cool geology. So again, I encourage you, if you missed any of that, you can, rewind, check it out, or wait a few days, and those full dive recordings will be on YouTube, and you can check it out, because
you got them doing 0.5, right?
It's been great.
Yes.
We sat down in the van for a shark, and it just kept being pretty exciting from there.
That was a cool shark. I like sharks.
Yeah, I wish we hadn't been so strung out and could have followed it for a minute.
I was talking at dinner saying...
You mean the tether.
That
you mean the tether.
When we saw it, I was really like, I really just wanted to like be like, bridge nav, just
go,
drive,
go.
Just
punch it.
Engines to full. I don't care.
We've got a shark to chase.
But I have been trained better than that by
good work, Chris.
our
Good
other
restraint.
navigators. You never want to be the intern that dragged a couple $1 million across the seafloor.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same for the ROV. It's often bad things happen if you're like just blindly chasing something.
Yeah. We got a good shot. It just didn't stay there for long.
Zoom in, please.
A nice little sponge.
Gorgeous. A little snail right on the tip there.
Oh, wow. Good eyes.
I think it's a tiny hermit
crab. I don't know how big this TV is. It's pretty big, but I still didn't
It's okay. It's
see
still
it.
a snail shell.
We've
So
seen
I'm not
real
wrong.
snails too, so
It's a real. It's not fake. It is.
Oh, look at that.
Hermit crab again.
No, that's
what?
That's a snail.
Definitely a snail.
Right there?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my god, giant
On the
snail.
left.
Oh my
That's
god,
it.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
This is
Right
the
at the
best
end of
moment
watch.
of your life.
Oh my gosh. I'm
It's
so
2
sorry.
centimeters.
Have you ever been happier than this moment?
Giant.
No, it's not get too happy if it pops up as a hermit crab.
Hey, let me have this moment. You've had so many rocks, Kevin.
All right, full wide.
Highlight.
I'm making notes about your special snail.
Yay. I am cheesing so hard right now, it's not even funny. And shout out to the person who says that you have a feeling me and Sam Wishnack would have fun on a cruise together. We did have fun on a cruise together last September. Shout out to Sam. She's awesome.
I called your snail large.
Thank you.
Wow.
It's all relative.
very
It's
generous.
relative.
It was
Large,
a large
parentheses,
snail
2
for this
centimeters.
area.
Yeah.
The other ones were like, what? A couple millimeters?
Yeah.
Like.
Well, they were the size of that hermit crab
Now I want to know what the
in
largest
the snail shell. So.
largest snail ever recorded was.
That would be Gary the snail.
Sea snails can get pretty big. Like, trumpet snail shells are like, can be like a foot or more long.
Are those the dangerous ones? What are the dangerous ones?
So you're probably thinking of cone snails that
yep.
are venomous. So snails have what's called a radula, which is like it's like their tongue / teeth sort of thing. It's like a
spiky
conveyor
tongue,
belt.
like a cat's tongue.
Yeah, it's really spiky, and they use it to rasp stuff or break stuff off of rocks. Cone snails have a modified radula that connects with a venom gland, and it is able to paralyze fish that they eat. So if you look up cone snails eating fish, cone
Spot on
snails
the
can
lens
eat
now.
full-on fish, bigger than
Little
what you would
spot
think
on
they
the
would be able to
lens.
eat.
Cool.
Yeah, in the bottom left there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
but
cool for
Have
anyone
you
that
seen
gets.
that all night? When did that?
it's been there for a while. Yeah.
Okay.
I think since we sat down.
Okay.
It almost looks like some water inside the
It
dome.
almost looks like water inside,
Or a bubble.
which is not good.
It could be
It's
something.
probably, we won't jump to that conclusion.
Yeah, here,
Probably
let me do a
dirt.
little close focus here and see if we can see. Doesn't help too much. I'm gonna say it's something on the outside. Take a look when it comes up.
But yeah, Chris, the venom can kill a human.
Oh, okay.
So don't step on cone snails.
I'll
But
try
you usually
not
don't
to.
see them, which is the problem.
Where would you find a cone snail?
Zoom in, please.
On coastal areas.
Okay, anywhere, pretty much.
There's a lot of different kinds that are all over the place, as far as I am aware.
That's another bamboo coral.
Okay, full wide. Getting left behind here. Going too slow.
I'm still smiling over here. That was cool.
I thought I had everybody's mics adjusted to a good level until you saw a snail.
I am so sorry. Everyone's ears at home.
No, it's fine.
Wait, can you adjust our volumes individually?
I can. I'm mixing.
He's got the power.
Mixing the whole time.
Yeah, that's why we have you all the way down
Oh.
the whole time.
Who talks the loudest?
You're pretty loud, but you've also keep the mic very close to your mouth. So it's a combination of those two
Oh.
factors.
Sorry.
No, it's great.
Okay.
No, you sound great over SPL, Chris. Don't worry.
Keep
I hope
doing you.
so.
We'll keep adjusting.
There's nothing worse than
You
this
know,
when the mic's like
We
so
keep
far
it
away.
under control. No worries.
Yeah.
The only mics I've ever worn on my face are in helicopters and planes, and those have to be like right up to your mouth because, you know.
And don't you usually have to be kind of yelling?
Because the ambient sounds.
Yeah, you have to be a little bit louder. You don't have to yell. It does a pretty good job. If it's right up to your mouth, it gets that vibration and cancels out everything else.
Is that what?
That's
I
a
was so
helicopter
confused
noise,
for a
right?
second.
Oh.
Oh.
They're coming.
So I've been thinking about this for a while, and I didn't really have a good spot to put it in, but I figured this is a good spot. We were talking about sharks. And
Sharks
Good
are
segue.
to Chris what snails are to Al.
they're pretty cool. Well, so growing up on Cape Cod, you got like my home on Shark Week every year. So like, you know, it's kind of cool. But the reason you can see their eyes like we did on that cat shark that it reflects is it has a film over it that, if I'm pronouncing this correctly, is called tapetum lucidum, which roughly translates to rug of light.
Cool.
Is that the tapetum? Is that on the outside for sharks or on the inside?
That's a solid question.
Because I actually do a lot of eye dissections at work. Just cut open my 600th eyeball the other day. And on the back of it is what's called the tapetum lucidum. And cats have it, dogs have it.
Yeah,
a lot
all
of
those
nocturnal
animals
stuff.
that you walk out at night and
Exactly.
see its eyes staring
Looks like
back
they've
at
got
you.
laser beams.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually at the very back of the eye behind the retina. And so it serves to kind of double bounce around light to
Yeah.
give them better night vision.
Wow.
Really cool.
Yeah. Its name is a little off, I feel like, but that's okay.
What is it, the translation again?
Rug of light.
Rug of light.
Like
Tapestry? Like tapestry?
like tapestry. Yeah.
I never even thought about that.
That's a rough translation. Someone who like speaks Latin is gonna like yell at me, but
I wouldn't let them. But yeah, come on down to the Franklin Institute and we can explode some stuff and look at cow eyeballs. That's what I do all day. ROV, when you're descending a slope, does Herc stay level or do you pitch Herc at all? Oh,
You're not talking.
on.
There's a few ways you can do it. We're trying to go down faster, so we're kind of ignoring what's on it. So lots of it we won't be able to see. But we descend as we go, generally, because if we leave it all till the end, all of a sudden we might be 200 meters off the bottom, and then we'll have to wait that much longer for us to get back, down. But generally the way to do it, if you want to see, is we just turn around and then back down it so that our orientation is the same as when we're going up, so that Herc being in front will be at a higher altitude. So Argus, or sorry, opposite what I said, Argus will have more clearance under him than Herc.
Yeah.
The way we're going right now, Argus, the issue is Argus is closer to the hill, and it's hard for us to have an appropriate amount of delta. So I wind up flying like higher over it, but the advantage is we can go a bit faster than if we're driving backwards down the hill.
Thank you.
No sweat.
what's the coolest fact that everyone can think of right now?
That they know in general? Just like random?
Let's focus it, I guess, on marine subjects.
I know nothing.
That's not true.
I think one of the coolest facts is that the moon, the gravitational force of the moon,
That's great. Yeah.
causes tides and moves the ocean waters.
Yeah. I think when I learned about tides, I think I was a little surprised how many different like factors there are that go into it. There's like 42 different micro calculation like factors that like pour into it, with obviously the moon being like the most powerful. So
What are some of the others?
I have something.
Oh.
No, go for it. Can you finish explaining?
Okay.
Yeah.
Usually they're mostly just combinations of lunar and solar. With even though the sun being so much larger, it's so far away that it affects the tide so much less. But there are some others that are escaping me now.
But also with gravity.
But
The
yeah.
Okay.
So I did
Go ahead, Kylie.
Chris said calculations, and I was like, oh, I know something. I did a calculus project that was like about multivariable calculus. So it was to like determine the speed of sound profile in water, which we use our
yes, I do that.
UCTDs, XCTB.
XBT.
Thank you. To get the sound velocity in the water for our mapping data. So it's a multivariable function of depth, temperature, and salinity, and they affect the result that you get differently. Like they have different strengths to it. So it's you can calculate the speed of sound profile if you put in different values. It's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
For a little expanded knowledge, the way that relates what Kai was saying to our mapping is with the echo sounder, we need to know how fast sound travels in water to understand how deep it actually is. So we do those, well, the computer does those calculations for us.
Why do we need to know like the speed of how sound travels?
So sound travels differently through different mediums. So with water being more dense than air, it will travel faster through water, but with different properties such as the temperature, salinity, and pressure. It'll change. So if you don't account for those, it's going to give an inappropriate depth reading.
But for depth reading, you're sending a ping. You're sending a sound signal.
Yes, we are sending the sound down, and it is coming back up.
So you need to know how long the water is going to affect its travel time.
Exactly.
Can I borrow a bubble?
If you are wondering about the shark that we saw at the very beginning of this watch, which was really, really cool, it is a species of sand tiger shark.
I'm so close.
And again, if you missed that part of the video, it's about 4 hours ago. You can rewind in the feed and check it out. We saw it for a little while. It was really awesome. Yeah. And again, Al Leszczynski here with your snail information. Snails on land do not deal with salt well because the salt kind of pulls out the water from their bodies, which is not good for them. But down here in the deep sea, the bodies of our snails and sea slugs are used to this level of salt surrounding them. If they were to be put into fresh water, that would actually damage them because you'd have a gradient of salt. You'd have salt inside the body of the animal, no salt on the outside, and the salt would actually start to, the water would enter into the body and sort of possibly explode some of those cells. So it's a little different for snails versus on land versus on the ocean floor. It's a cool question. And again, it's that time of the night where you're going to be hearing shuffling because your 4 to 8 watch is stepping out and handing over to the 8 to 12 watch. Thanks everybody that was sending in awesome questions during this watch. We really saw some exciting things, heard some exciting things, and we still have some of this dive left. The screen is blue right now, but that's because we are heading towards another peak here off of Jarvis Island. So stay tuned. And if you missed any of the dive earlier today, the last 6 hours or so, you can rewind in the live feed and check that out, or wait a couple days and see this full dive recording uploaded on the Nautilus Live YouTube channel.
Hey everybody, tuned in on All This Live. We are just doing a watch handover here and getting our team for H12 on headsets. So stand by with us for a few more. You'll hear some new voices. It's a great time to refresh your browser. If you haven't done that for a few hours, doing that will trade over the watch teams just beneath the question feed, so you can match the faces with the voices for the folks who will be here with you for the next few hours.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, hi, hi.
Did somebody just wake up their Siri or Alexa? That's amazing.
Okay.
The what went away?
Okay. Okay. Was not prepared for that, but ready to go. Nope. Okay. It was already hot in here. It's getting hotter.
Is the pressure on? You about to
Pressure's
take
on.
over something, Jake? What's happening?
What's going to happen, Jake?
Oh, I am going to take over Herc for a brief period.
Ooh. Yay.
Did anybody adjust the air conditioning controls, either previous
There
watch
have
or
been,
here?
there have been a couple sets of people. Allison was up here. We turned on the little R2 unit. About lunchtime, there was a big concern that it was about 80.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what the current update is on this.
We need all the cooling capacity we can get, because it is really warm where I'm at.
Yeah.
It's warm up here. Warm everywhere, yeah.
Warm everywhere.
Let me. I'm gonna check the air cons.
Okay.
Stand by.
Yeah, I believe so. Yep. So as we are here continuing this dive with our new watch team, we are transiting between the summits of two peaks of this seamount. So we mapped over, well, actually this bathymetry map was collected by Okeanos Explorer, and that gave us a good sense of this, so great collaboration with NOAA's Office of Ocean Exploration and Research, which is the federal agency who leads ocean exploration efforts for the United States government. They conducted a multi-year campaign, they call it Capstone Campaign, exploring all throughout the Central Pacific. And as Nautilus came to the Central Pacific, we're collaborating with those partners and sharing data, both targets that they didn't get to dive on just due to either time or elements within the campaign, and then also, you know, sharing the results as we do with the science community at large.
Okay.
So this seamount was mapped by that group, and we determined our dive track based off of that mapping. We climbed up one summit and are interested to see the other. There were a few surprising elements if you've been following along, both kind of the structure of the peak, but also we're expecting to see some stony coral communities there based on some coral rubble that was in the area. So we certainly have some targets to look out for as we're cruising through the water and heading over to this next summit. It is about 1.7 kilometers, which is already, some of that is behind us as we're underway. So we will be working on keeping in contact with the seafloor here as we head across that area. But send in your questions. We'll get to them as we can around the operations.
Yeah, this looks like the last of the rock we'll see for a while. But there's
Maybe
fishes.
right here at the barrier. Yeah, maybe. I feel like this is going to be like a lesson in piloting. I wanna listen.
So I'll keep you lined up with the heading, and you want to stay not out front as far as you can, but just a good amount out front. So right now you want to zip ahead and try to stay centered in my camera.
Everybody have their seat belts on and helmets? Is that an urchin or a Hawthorne? Urchin. And a shark over there?
What?
No, that's not a shark.
So you're kind of going this way, so now's a good time to use a lateral to starboard a bit. And you can do both actions at once, forward and lateral to starboard, by pushing up to the top right. And then generally you want to fly by looking at the Hercules, and you kind of glance over there to see your orientation, but that'll become more relevant when there's stuff to look at. But it's a good habit to get into now.
Yeah.
So Rob, could you recap some of the geology that we've seen so far as we head across this basin?
Well, I think earlier we were coming up the flank of a little volcano, and there's a lot of pillow flows and sheet flows as we came up to the top. And
cannot take
there's
photo.
a bunch of lava tubes too that we saw.
I don't know,
It
storage
looks like
space.
most of the stuff is submarine. So
Can you pass this to
it's
Megan,
kind of
please?
interesting history of the seamount. If there is a geo on the top, that it seems like these volcanoes probably may have erupted after the subsidence. So this may be a more recent eruption that these created these.
You want to practice on one of these fishes, or are we on transit? Okay. Bye, fish.
Is that a tripod?
It's a tripod fish.
Yeah. The low hanging, low rider tripod with the frilly fringes. My geology description.
It's quite good.
With a hardness of 5.5.
Assault colored.
Is that a batfish there? To the left?
Looks like it.
Yeah.
There's a sand ridge.
Argus looks like we're coming up on something.
Yeah. That's a
Don't worry,
nice
that's just a
little
contour line.
Oh.
Wow,
Interesting.
the sand changes direction.
Yeah, those are really interesting.
Would that be like the leading edge of a sand dune being blown forward?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
So soon enough, you'll see what it feels like when you get to the end of your leash. And you'll see, if you glance over here, you'll see them getting pulled and the thruster going way up.
Like
I'm going to come up a little bit too.
Yeah. These are good size sand waves.
But when you're
here.
this way and you can't go forward much more, it's a good time to start fighting your way back to the side.
Starfish below that tripod fish.
So you give it a little turn, and now your auto heading is stuck to 133 instead of 143. So you're going to need to spin that back. So you can see your set point on the Auto XY page right here. You can see your actual heading there, and then both on the compass rose.
There's another batfish over on the left.
I'm so
Sure,
excited
please,
about the batfish. Like, I've
I
been
think we can
waiting
go up
and
to
waiting and
0.8.
waiting.
You want to try that?
Okay. Bridge, Nav. Can we increase speed 0.8? Sure. Look, Ma, no hands.
Is that an 8-point starfish?
Looks like
Is
it.
it right?
I got 8.
Do we have time? Okay. That's fine. Okay.
Sorry, Wayne.
No, it's okay. I can see it.
We'll get there.
Yeah, so we are trucking along, viewers at home, so we can get to the other seamount here. How fast is the ship moving, Miles?
Currently 0.3.
0.3. How fast do you want it to move?
0.8.
All right. It's speeding up and getting there.
It's trying.
That's all we can ask.
It's all about average speed. Instantaneous can bounce around about somewhere in the 0.5 range.
Cat shark.
Meow, meow.
So once you're confident, you can kind of keep it centered in the Argus view. We can do get rid of the auto alt and try out that. So whenever you're ready for that, we can go ahead.
The auto altitude or auto heading?
Right now you're in auto altitude. That's the first one we'll get rid of. Okay. Leave auto heading till the end.
Getting this fixed up for y'all.
Quite a bit of life on our sandy plane.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's
What?
really
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay, hit the button.
Is that the bad fish again, or?
Looks
Enemy
like
is
it,
off.
Yeah,
just
looks
by
like
the
it.
So that
stick.
stick, push away to go down, pull towards to go up. You should be biased pretty good, pretty even. So you shouldn't need to do too much, but it will drift over time. You can use your shadows in camera 13. You can kind of see by the brightness of the sediment as you get closer or farther away. And of course you got your altitude reading right there.
Those anemones.
And the bat signal in Argus.
Say again?
And the bat signal in Argus.
Right, that's a good one actually. It's only usable on sediment. So if there's anything else behind you, it doesn't work, but it's a great learning tool.
Urchin buddies.
So you're slowly creeping up right now. Started at 3.5, you're at 4.5 now. But that's, first day is like this for sure.
I love these batfish. I've kind of been waiting to see one the whole time. And then we're all over the place.
I'm getting pulled now. It's a lot to watch.
Another baddie.
It's one too many for me tonight. Too many things to think about.
The viewers are writing in, they're really cheering for you, Jake. It's awesome. If you haven't already, check out Jake's Instagram story takeover that he's been doing all day today. Check out at Nautilus Live on Instagram. And our story has a little behind the scenes by our very own ROV engineering intern and Argus pilot, currently Hercules pilot, Jake Bonnie.
Bumper day for him.
I know.
He's doing everything.
Yeah.
Big day.
We can trade whenever you want. I'll teach you how to nav.
Catwoman.
Hello, goodbye. Might be a good introduction question. Name, seat you're in, maybe where you got your training or where you went to school, and what seat in the van you'd want to trade with if you could trade with anyone. I'm Megan Cook. I'm sitting in the communications seat. I am an alum of Oregon State University, where I studied biology and chemistry. And, change my answer pretty much every time I say this, but I'm going to say I'd like to change with Miles. I'd like to be a navigator. I think the perspective of all the vehicles working together is really cool, and I would enjoy working on that. The vehicles and the ship, I mean. Who's next?
I'll go.
All right.
Wayne Borneo, lead video engineer, Went to school at Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology in Terre Haute, Indiana.
Oh, cool.
Small all-male engineering school. Well, small, previously all-male engineering school. They have long since accepted female applicants, undergraduates. If I could change with one person, yeah, I think I'd enjoy the Herc pilot. Yeah, I mean, it would take a while to get comfortable there, but you know, we have insurance, right?
I hope so.
Trevor's saying no. So, other than the stress of having to think of 29 different things at the same time.
I'm Trevor Shepard. I'm sitting in the Argus seat. I went to school at University of Victoria for mechanical engineering. And
you want to switch back?
I want to switch back.
I want to switch back.
I might say, not necessarily on this cruise, but on other cruises, I'd pick chart table, because that's usually the one who's running a bunch of bleeding edge technology that's pushing the limits of what we can do and study in the ocean, and they're oftentimes the one that's running that technology. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
And you have the best perspective. You have like the best view. I don't know.
You see all the screens.
That's probably false. You guys, it's up close to the big screens, probably have the best view. Still. Good choice. Jake.
Oh.
We should just do Jake's. Jake is task loaded right now. This is Jake.
Yeah. I am usually in the Argus seat, but I am now in the Hercules seat. I'm freaking out.
You're doing great.
We don't have insurance, as I learned. just to put you at ease.
Getting close to the bottom.
Here's another challenge for you. See if you can stay at like 1.5 to 2 meters. Gives you a lot better video. Harder to do, but see what you can do.
Where'd you go to school, Jake?
I went to the University of Rhode Island.
You just said that, didn't you?
Did I say it?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Miles. Miles was like, I was hanging on every word. No. You didn't say it yet.
Miles Saunders, I'm navigator for this cruise. I went to Penn State for geography and geospatial intelligence, and I'm good. I like my job.
The question wasn't like that you like your job. It's if you got kicked out of your seat, which one would you take? Musical chair style.
No, I'm good.
Play the game, Miles.
There's not another one I would want.
Miles would sit outside.
Well, a mate. I'd be a mate.
We'll put him in the head.
That'd be fun.
Deck chief, is that a chair? That's the seat in the mess. That's the seat.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. You're going to hit him with the lasers. You're going to cut him right in half.
The trenching leeches?
I don't want to crush him.
Pull up, pull up. He'll leave. It's okay.
Terrain. Pull up.
Oh, man.
So it looks like we have started to
Our
speed up.
ascent. And our ascent.
And our ascent. So I have to pump up the jams a little.
No. Sponge.
Buckle in.
All right, back row.
Okay, I'm Suna. I'm in the data seat. I went to school in Turkey. I studied biology in Izmir, and I am currently working on my PhD in the Istanbul University. I think I would like to fly Herc. And next to me is Tim Clark.
Way to pass it off. I am Tim Clark. I went to school Washington Lee University for undergrad, Texas A&M for master's, and University of Hawaii for PhD. And I think I would like to do Herc as well, or maybe Argus first, though. Anything actually except for Suna's position. Whoa! Well, she's just typing away constantly. It's looks a little overwhelming over there.
This is Rob McCullany. I'm in the Watch Leader seat. I went to SUNY Buffalo for geology, and then URI.
Your mic's pretty far away from
I got it.
All right. Wayne's solving the problem.
Yeah, I went to the Graduate School of Oceanography at University of Rhode Island for graduate school.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I kind of like to play with the video engineer thing for a bit, and navigator. Those two things interest me.
Nice.
Looks like I'm getting some time off.
We got a human pyramid in the Herc seat, though.
Yeah, exactly.
And Miles isn't going to let you have his chair.
No, because he's good.
He's good.
I'm good.
He's good. He likes his job.
Yeah.
We're gonna put Miles in the corner over here answering
Megan,
questions from the viewers.
That was your first choice.
That could
He's
be
not
dangerous.
moving. So, given that Miles isn't giving up his seat, what's your second choice?
I'm gonna pick Miles up and I'm gonna put him. My second choice. Oh gosh, I don't know. I like all of it. I think this cruise has been really fun. Getting to play with the Coral ID Guide a little bit with Suna, and trying to really quickly identify creatures. So, a little bit of my heart is back in the data logger seat. I also like the choice of chart. It's a great view. Also, not only because I'm looking at a much smaller monitor than a lot of other folks in the room, so I'm like peering at a little guy over here.
But it's your own, and you can control it. And you
That's
can
true.
put whatever you want on it.
I just laugh that I'm like really, really close to it all the time, trying to spy things. But yeah, no, I mean, all of them are good. We like all of them here.
Yeah, I shied away from the Herc thing because I got to drive Alvin for about a half hour one time.
How'd it go?
It was fine, but just like Jake, I was sweating. I think it was a little easier than flying Herc.
I'm still sweating.
Well, you're sweating because it's hot in here. It's downright hot.
Yeah.
It's really got me worried. And I know the back row is happy.
Hooray!
I'm happy too, but I know the computers are less happy.
But the computers are
How is front to front,
much
Miles?
less happy.
How is front to front? This one?
I know there's rotational offsets, but I don't know about front to front.
I know
Up,
you can
down.
do up or down. I don't know how to do the rotational offsets.
I thought it was in control head.
I thought it was too, but this is your sector.
Sure.
It's not there.
What is that?
Oh, so this is off.
Crinoid.
All sorts of
peak
neat changes.
Peak detection's off. Uplink is slower.
Yeah.
Fish.
Or fuzzy thing.
There's a fish. So now it looks
Bless
like
you,
we're
bless
out of
you.
the sediment into some sort of basalt rubble.
Mm-hmm.
Pillowy basalt rubble, isn't it?
Yes, it is pillowy.
Yeah, look at that geology knowledge dropping in there.
I knew it was basalt.
Yeah,
So proud of myself.
Looks like it contains some minerals.
You think so?
It appears to be wet. Look at all these good observations we're making. I love it. Rob, could we give a little summary of the dive kind of so far? Give us a little geology, but talk us through what's happened for the last few hours.
Okay. Well, I mean, it seemed pretty sparse biology-wise at the beginning. We were at about 1,400 meters depth. But as we got shallower, you could start seeing more and more corals come in, and the fish come in. And one of the things that was really interesting at the top is they saw a lot of old stone coral debris.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're looking around, or they were looking around trying to find the source of it. and they couldn't find anything. So kind of a bit of a puzzle of why you had all this debris and no stone coral to account for it.
Is it possible that at one point the rock mounts were at a much shallower depth and had some photogenic corals?
Yeah, I think they considered this the stony coral that it was, or that they expect it to be, does like the kind of depth range right at the tip top. I think they just were hoping that it wasn't that they were hoping it wasn't like a community that was totally destroyed and gone, that maybe it was just the happy, alive community was somewhere and this wasn't like a historical reef. We spent a long time looking around, so that's part of what we're going to do next is go over to the second peak and see if we run into those coral communities.
Just see if they relocated to a better spot.
Not quite how that works, I don't think. Maybe they're relatives though. It could be a larval dispersal kind of thing. This dive has been overall more shallow than the other dives though. So they've been seeing some different kinds of fish and some different kinds of corals, and certainly we'll be, cruising through our ID guide, trying to ID those for you as we come up the second peak and see them. We do know there's swimming crinoid. That's awesome.
Oh, what is that? Oh, it's a fish or something.
Yeah, over on the right, it's a swimming crinoid. It's one of those ones that without a stalk that can lift up, which is pretty rad. We do know the peak is a little ways away, so the ship's been moving fast, and we're moving fast along the bottom, is why we're not stopping and zooming right now. But we're expecting this dive to continue until 4 a.m., so lots more exploration, lots more time to get your questions in. Why is it warmer now in the control room? Good question. We don't know. That's why it's concerning. We're trying to get the air conditioners cranking the temperature back out. The whole ship felt warm this afternoon, though. So
I have a theory about the temperature in the van. It involves sabotage of the AC units by one of the scientists.
This is like Clue, like in the conservatory.
I think the data engineer did it with a hammer.
Catch shark.
No, it is a mystery. We really don't know, but I'd say it's 10 to 12 degrees warmer.
I think so.
Than it normally is.
That's Fahrenheit.
Yes, it would be.
Yeah.
It's boiling.
Hey,
It's
it's almost
actually
the 4th of July. Come on. None of this Celsius.
We are equidistant from Canada Day. No,
it's getting cooler back here. I don't know if you guys feel it.
How long ago was that?
Yeah, it is getting cooler.
It is getting cooler.
Yay!
Someone paid the bill.
Groans from the scientists.
No, I'm gonna have to put my sweatshirt on.
So when I walked in and it was warmer, we have 3 AC units, 1 in the front and 2 in the back, and I set them all to maximum and turbo.
We also have the little R2 unit on, so there's 4 on right now.
Maybe it was. I think I need to collect the controls and just hide them.
I'm surprised the one over science can only go to 20.
Yeah, the other ones. It would be nice if we could freeze them out. Yeah.
20 is quite cold.
Ours can only go down to 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's its lowest setting.
Oh.
Whoa.
Way to program that, Rob.
Now.
Just practicing evasive maneuvers before they're needed.
Whoa.
Run!
I'm not used to seeing it that fast, but I guess he's very low and going fast, so it makes it appear faster.
Exactly, yeah. It's good to know how fast you can move if you need to. Because when you need to move fast, it's not a time to learn.
Yeah, that was turbo.
So Trevor, this is a great chance to ask you questions because you are not flying.
Hit me, Megan. I'm not paying attention to anything.
You're not at all. Viewers want to know what the main differences are between flying Argus and flying Hercules. They're interested in what Jake's learning.
Argus is a yo-yo. And Herc is a half-inflated helium balloon.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
You have like one, I guess two. One thruster-based plane of motion on Argus and one winch-based plane of motion. Thrusters being pivoting around the center of Argus, left and right. And then a winch going up and down based on the how much wire you have out. And Hercules. How are all the ways Hercules can move?
Herc can move up, down, left, right, forward and back, and spin left, spin right. So
and any combo of those at once?
Any combo of those at once. It cannot do a backflip. It cannot do a barrel roll.
Yet you're working on it.
I'm working on it, yeah. Yeah, so similar to that balloon from the birthday party 3 days ago in your house, it kind of sits floating halfway up, not quite all the way to the ceiling, not quite all the way to the floor in your living room. And you can poke it and move it around in any kind of direction, up, down, left, right, spin it around. But the weight on the bottom, which in the balloon's case is just a little streamer, keeps it facing a certain way up. And Argus is like the yo-yo, where you can send it down, it's attached to the cable at all times, and then you can pull it back up. And when it's at the bottom, that's where the analogy totally falls apart. You can spin it around left to right, keeping Herc in view, keeping your nav targets in view, all this kind of stuff.
Those are really good analogies.
Kind of. The yo-yo one fell apart. I got to work on that.
Give it the like old birthday balloon. That's real solid.
What is that?
It's a good opportunity. Instead of being sad that your helium birthday balloons are now kind of lame, they're actually a way to learn science and technology.
Yeah.
You draw little Hercules graphics all over your yellow balloon and poke it around and explore the living room.
Explore the living room. Just make sure it doesn't end up in the ocean. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, don't recreate that part of Herc.
Getting a little rockier. So how far are we miles from this second peak now? How much of our 1.7 nautical miles have we crossed?